Welcome back one final time to tonight's CSGO extravaganza. I'm Alex Machine Richardson. He is Mitch Leslie, or Mitch Ubershouts Leslie. Excuse me. We still haven't casted that much together. I'm still having to, perfect your Mitch Ubershouts Leslie.
That's fine. Normally I lop the shouts bit off for when I'm being referred, but then I can't have it on Twitter because there's a massive
That's
cab
to be
company
fair,
called Uber. So
I can relate to you now because I used to be called Machini by people, and I had to purge the Y off my Twitter because of that very fact. Yeah. Okay, I'm joined by Mitch Uber Leslie. Do excuse me, and we are going into our final game. It's going to be a cracker. Mouse up against Dignitas, and Dignitas, a lot of people suggesting Train is one of Dignitas' stronger maps at this point, which is intriguing. And I was recently digging over a couple of statistics, and in the last 8 times they have played Train, they've won 6 of them. So only falling foul to like an overtime game over against Titan and one other game against Hellraisers. So far, expecting good things from their Train.
Well, specifically also against mousesports, their opponents for this game. Dignitas have won 4 out of the last 5 of their matchups. However, they were all within 6 rounds. So none of them were blowouts. Quite a lot, actually, with 16-14s. A lot of people sort of on HLTV and stuff like that are saying this could be another really close one between these two. But last time on Train, it was actually the older Dignitas. So when they still had Nico in the lineup as well.
Nico, without Schneider as well, yeah. So that's a good point to make, especially considering how there has been a bit of a change dynamic, I think, already in Dignitas. Their play looks different now with Pimper. Occasionally, and I think occasionally is the buzzword, picking up that AWP. Great to see him picking up that crazy round just in the previous game as well, going for that eco ace, which Mitch lost a couple of lungs about. Fantastic plays from him. But it's time for us to go into our final game, guys. It's going to be knife time between Dignitas and Mouse here on Train.
Now, of course, both of these teams have decent T-sides on this one from what we saw. It was actually Dignitas who managed to put up the 8 rounds on T-side first and then managed to sort of snowball the rest out to a win. Mouse's T-side actually, as I correct myself, struggled a little bit after the first 4 buy last time these two went together. But I mean, lots changed as well. I don't want to read into that one too much here. Just some stats for you guys at home. Kirby is also one of the highest performing players for Dignitas on Train in general. So keep an eye on him as he gets 2 in this 9th round, but it's not enough. Mouse will be choosing sides.
Having that choice of side can be the make or break situation sometimes for Train. But yeah, I mean, so far, especially even yesterday, we saw the power of T-side Train. A lot of people, when it first was reintroduced back into the pool, well, let's be honest, they were saying it, but we were also seeing a big bias over into the CT side. But as teams have played it, as a lot of more people have got their hands on it and things have developed, strategies have formed and a whole lot more smokes have been learned, T-sides have got a little stronger, a lot more potent as of late.
Yeah, it was actually Navi's T-side that allowed them to triumph over Envy as well on this one. Very important part of their victory here. So that's something well worth keeping in mind, I feel, now, as we do await that pistol round to come around. Yeah, I mean, so it'll be interesting to see. I mean, mousesports in recent times on Train, they've won 4 out of 10 of their last games on this one as well. So there you go. There's something to definitely be going on. Be thinking about that as well. And Mouse also sort of now blooding themselves against this higher tier opposition as well. I'm looking forward to see how this one plays out. I think I enjoyed seeing them earlier on the night. On Dust, I thought it was very good, close performance here. Whereas Dignitas, a little bit disappointing against Fnatic. They had their opportunities. Unfortunately, they were squandered. Of course, you mentioned Pimp's huge efforts, and he was a key player. But the rest of Dig didn't fire when it counted.
Yeah, and one of those players was, Kirby, so looking forward to seeing him maybe just continue to stay true to his name as a bit of a Train god. We'll see as we are going into our pistol and final game of the evening, folks. It's time to see if Dignitas can pocket a win tonight after falling flat up against Fnatic. The same counts for Mouse as they struggled. Struggled is the word I'm looking for. Struggled is a fake one, and that was, of course, up against TSM. As let's see how this one plays out. We are seeing an entire stack, all 5 about to bundle and bound in towards that B site.
A lot in back B as well. And MSL hasn't really settled his positioning here. I think he's just dropped into the get right spot. But here's a flash, here's a smoke, and here they come. MSL completely blocked off for this one. He can't see a thing. And he's going to have to wait now for the people to appear behind him. He does turn around, gets some shots towards Chris J. He was also protected by the smoke because he couldn't be seen. But now Mouse, they're getting involved here. Nico gets one towards MSL. Pimp actually getting the drop on towards next. The back and forth leads Dignitas still with 3 here. So they've managed to hold thus far. And Dennis will go down easy. Getting a nice little double there to help out his team. Kirby, the only one not to draw blood.
Yeah, that was a quick double from AZ as well, turning the tide of that round very quickly in favor of Dignitas. As they're going to be going into the second one, you expect to see a whole lot more rifles than you sometimes do here on Train because of the distance by which you want to be taking down Mouse. You do not want to be coming in close quarters with them, or at least not in force. You can see AZ is rocking the MP9. You're intrigued to see what he can do with that one. And on the other side of things for Mouse, they are coming into this one with that Tech 9 armor, as you would expect here in the second round. And looks like it's going to be taking a bit of a different shape and potentially looking to get early control of Popdog. That's a perfect place to take your SMG. Nice from AZ as he snatches Nico away early from the assault.
Never really had a chance, the man now, as AZ will drop back in towards Connector, and a lot of positioning for Popdog here by Mouse. They can safely get down at least, but it's the push out that could be dangerous. Seeing only one now next, just pushing down, I think it was. No, they're going to back B here. See what they can achieve. It's just MSL on that B site right now for Dig.
The reason the B site can sometimes appeal to these kind of second round buys is that it does enable you to get that bomb down and some extra cash in your pocket should the round go awry. And here we are going to see them attempt to swarm on in, but look at MSL. He is just laughing as he takes 3 down, and that's just onto Gob. He's desperately trying to get the bomb down, and he does so. Mission achieved. Mission complete for Mouse, and they are going to be going down to Pimp then to wrap that one up. Great plays there from MSL, the only man to finally fall, but he took 3 with him. And that's going to be a quick second.
It's not the first time tonight we've seen God be frantically smashing Digits in the bomb when all hope was lost for the rest of his team. But a bit of money into the pockets of mousesports. They're definitely a consolation for them here. And you can see we're getting closer to that third round. But for the most part, looks like still going to sit with Tech 9s. Godby and Dennis grabbing some of their own here. Yeah, I mean, things kind of went awry for them. Just losing that 1 kill in Popdog. They had no confidence to push onto A from that point. And they're kind of just left with B as a plan B.
Yeah, it was very nice that AZ went so aggressive with the rest of his team not. Because he got the early frag, they started to second-guess themselves. If they'd have got control of Popdog and, been able to peek out through E-Box and get a couple of kind of eye lines on towards Ivy, could have played out differently, but it doesn't. And now, the same round begins again. I feel like we're almost having deja vu here. There's 5 members of Mouse, again, about to try and barrage in towards B, and it feels like Dignitas is starting to read the signs a little better. MSL has already made the call and got Pimp over there. In the meantime, the players on A are just going to be kind of playing a little bit aggressively to try and gather intel and try and get a good read, but it looks like already the shots and smokes are coming out. Here it comes, on towards MSL.
MSL getting 2 now. It's going to drop over that train car. Smoke is still on his way. He's going to go through the smoke as well. See what he can get. Godby going very low. Chris J at half health. He gets picked up. Pimp now with 2 of his own. And Pimp and Kirby there to finish things off. I mean, look, your mousesports right now, you don't have rifles. Train is rife with these long angles. They don't have confidence to split up and try and push them and sort of deconstruct the map like that. So they've got to go for these stacks, but it's been a very, very good hold by Dignitas here.
Yeah, so far so good for them. Now, though, it is time for Mouse to have a little bit of extra bite to their bark, as they have equipped full armor, full weapons, and we're going into our first real buy since that pistol. The initial 3 picked up by Dignitas now, and it's going to be a question of what they can do to make an impact on this T side. Something different, it seems, as they do for the 3-2 split. 3 towards Popdog/B, and we are going to be seeing 2 towards Ivy.
Kirby smoke is enough to dissuade Mouse from pushing on Ivy for the moment here. He will just sit back on this one a little bit, as Mouse know how important it is that they use these guns effectively now. The T side has been important for a lot of teams, and they know Diggs is pretty good from experience, so they want to get some of their own rounds here now while they can. But Schneider will hold a pop.
Schneider trying to bait it out as well. He threw the smoke himself to try and give them a false sense of security. As it doesn't look like it's going to be taking that bait just yet. Instead, Mouse are just quite literally hitting a standstill. Just 2 of the 5 members of the assault moving at this point, and does look like we're going to probably not see a push until about the 30-second mark, as we do breach 45, and finally some legs are starting to move for Mouse.
As Dennis is still standing at the top of Popdog, and Nico hasn't even bothered to go for uppers here, so I don't think it'll be a B if they're running low on time here. Godby has the bomb, focal point right now, and they're going to probably try and go out for A, I feel, in a moment here. You can see him just taking his time and breaking him now as he sticks with Chris J. There comes the flash. Chris J already down to half health and time. It's just of the essence right now as MSL takes down Nico. He might have been trying to sell something over at A, but there's Dennis getting on towards Schneider. Bomb quickly being carried towards A, but Chris J is there. He's trying to open things up. He does not have time to work with here. Kirby on towards next, and there's AC getting involved. It's just 2 players left, Godby and Dennis. He's going to try and get the plant down again, frantically trying to get the digits done. He does, and that's all mousesports can achieve with that buy.
Great use of flashbangs from Dignitas. Those 2-3 extra flashes they threw in towards the 30-second mark just completely messed up that potential late push. They tried to swarm into way, but they were kind of segregated and separated by those flashbangs. Really solid work from Dignitas, and clinched that round, an important round as well. That was the first real test since the pistol. And we are going to be seeing now 4-0 start to show its weary head. Now, what do Mouse do with this money? They could go for like the Tech 9 armor. I think that's going to be the path taken by just 2 of them, as Dennis and Godby do look to follow suit. No, finally they do catch up. I was wondering where those extra Kevlars were.
Something tells me this is going to be another aggressive push. I mean, it might not be B this time. It might try and work A. There's next, though. Taking down Schneider. Kirby, though, is there. Trying to get some shots straight down a lot the longer, those long angles. AZ and Kirby. There they are. Getting the frags. AZ with 3 this round. And next, again, just one player being left on his own. AZ gets the 4-piece from that one. And mousesports seem to be struggling a little bit to come up with something, I guess, a kryptonite for Dignitas as well. Dig is stalling him out so well.
Well, I mean, they have had really one chance so far to really challenge Dignitas, and that's been kind of shrugged off, laughed off by the CT side so far. This is going to be their second shot at it, and they're trying something different. Dennis and Chris J going to be bringing an AWP into the fray. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chris J and Dennis try and maybe just put one, if not 2 of them towards Ivy and start to apply some pressure there, because it has been rather unchallenged so far by the T side. Kirby and Schneider have had pretty quiet game on that corner of the map, and it does look like Nex and Dennis are going to do just that. The smoke comes out towards them. I'm pretty sure Kirby just hit someone in the head with his nade, so he's going to have a good indicator that there is one there.
Yeah, I think that might have been just what happened there. And again, just the smoke from Kirby is enough. Dennis, was it through smoke? No, I think he got an angle on Nex, maybe just around the corner. Still managed to pick up that kill towards Kirby, and that's more inroads than mousesports have made yet this game, really. They have more control over A. Posturing towards it has got B. Isn't too far away. You can see him there. Schneider watching like a hawk, though. Is the bomb yet to really be carried anywhere? AZ has been brought over towards an A side, and Dennis hasn't pushed his luck through Ivy yet. But here's MSL holding a really close angle towards Nico. Unexpected, maybe, as he pushed towards upper, but Nico's going to be able to take him down, and he's going to be straight on towards B, just throwing a smoke in front of him, almost simulating an aggressive push towards his site. GodB will bring this bomb if more picks can be made.
It's a big if, though. As we are going to be seeing Pimp find out another one for AZ. As all of a sudden, we're back to a 3v3. This was stacking up against Dignitas, but they just claw their way back and do so quite viciously, as now Schneider could very well find 2 here if he picks around the perfect time. He has, but GodB answers that prayer. And Nex does exactly the same. Now all back onto Pimp. We saw what happened before. Let's see if he can do something special. All on his own. Does not looking likely. Nex shuts him down. That's the AWP now loose, and that's the bomb now down. mousesports find their first.
And Dennis was just starting to activate there towards the end of the round, coming out of Ivy. He was probably there to deal with Schneider. I guess they decided to rotate back. But it's a good adaptation coming out here from mousesports to give them that round. They got crushed trying to work B, despite the aggressive positioning of MSL up on uppers. And now mousesports can still buy. It's a little bit thin money-wise still for them now, but it's better than nothing as they get their first consecutive gun round of the game.
Okay, where are you taking this one? The 4-1 stack, as pretty standard it seems for now for Train. You get your B player to go aggressively, try and hit some footsteps. If he does, the rotate happens. If not, you've got yourselves a nice stack on towards A. And MSL did do just that. Falls back after not finding too much information, and we are going to be seeing Mouse again. Bit of a standoff towards Ivy. In the meantime, Pimp casts his eyes towards Connector and going to be throwing out a little bit of utility to delay and try and waylay this assault. Nice from Nex. Quickly taken up by AZ, though. In the meantime, Nico's considering a push through this smoke. He would be very vulnerable if he did do just that.
Schneider and AZ have a strong position on bomb side, but they're not settled yet. They're sort of still looking left, right, and center. So mousesports have an opportunity to take them by surprise here. But it's important to note that Dennis still trying to make things happen here against Kirby, and he's just not giving him anything. He's playing so passively. He's really forcing mousesports to commit to trying to take over Ivy, especially after last time he went round. And now AZ heads up towards Heaven. Bit of movement here towards Pop Dog. Chris J with the AWP. Obviously, the double AWP setup is still continuing here for mousesports, looking for something. And AZ got his eyes set on that E-box. He'll have a target in just a second as Nico is just going to poke out. It's going to be a Molotov to slow things up there, but it looks straight up towards Heaven, and AZ gets completely shattered.
Yeah, that's going to be big now, because it's considering how 20 seconds left on the clock and the bomb's still not down. Mouse still not like they're going to be falling foul to what happened before, though. This is better. The bomb's going to be going in, and he has cover. MSL finally rotating from B. Now Kirby has to try and either delay or find a frag. He's going to try and do both now as he does tag up one. It was Dennis that goes down, and oh, not good. MSL did end up pushing on his own. There was no kind of double push. Kirby finds the toes of Dennis with his molly, but it doesn't look like he's going to be willing to take anything else. No extra risks being taken. He's happy to just maintain the Kevlar, the kit, and the M4.
mousesports now with their second round in a row so far. Not too bad from them after a bit of a slow start. Their first gun round didn't really go all that well, but this time they're playing a little bit more patiently as well. They're playing around that A side, trying to get shots in towards that one, and I like the use of Ivy as well. I mean, obviously Kirby's still untouched, but they are still holding him there. Kirby, like by definition, has to stay on that part of the map, and mousesports are looking for overmatches elsewhere.
Looking at the scoreboard for a second, 10 frags for AZ. We already highlighted him to be a pretty of a mad fragger and a consistent one at that. You know, sometimes you have these players that can go off. I just feel like AZ is always going off to some degree. I mean, sitting now on 10 frags, he was on 40 the last time we saw him play. Let's see then, as this one is looking a little bit different from Mouse. Nice and slow pace going to be adopted, and the only thing that Kyobi can do is sit and wait towards Ivy. Smokes do get thrown out towards Popdog and Ivy to try and delay. And Nico, look at that, straight away realizes that that's not going to be his ideal route, ideal path.
He'd love to tackle MSL, I think, if he gets a chance on B. But here's Kyobi again, holding through Ivy, and it's actually Nex and Dennis that are positioned there as well.
Yeah, they've moved it over.
Here's a Molotov here, interesting enough, up on the B side. Nothing really to come of that one quite yet. Very much a stagnated sort of thing. MSL has actually got himself down amongst the trains here, so we won't be able to see a push coming out from uppers unless he gets a different spot. Here come the smokes to Ivy as well. They're trying to sell something to Kyobi and leave Dennis in there to push through that one. Kyobi's not an idiot. He's going to flash that one as well. Just hold that spot, and Dennis is just going to back away.
If AZ went up this ladder, he would get so much information, but I think the threat of being caught is just a little too high, especially considering Nex has actually now got his eyes trained on that location.
Will he check it? No.
Not likely. And Mouse are now, with 30 seconds left, preparing to go and give MSL a little bit of a party. He's holding that angle. He's been so stalwart on B. Pimp's there now to try and keep him holding. He's pushing straight through that smoke. This could be good. MSL's holding a perfect angle. Not going to find the second, though, as AZ didn't quite manage to make too much of an impact. Neither does Pimp. And Mouse have kind of completely claimed B for themselves. Now just Kyobi standing after God B. Did get deleted, and Schneider's way too far away to have an impact with this bomb timer now ticking away.
Kyobi fancies himself a shot this one now, getting up on towards that spool, and he gets a great angle on God B now, but the bomb ticking away as well. There are a lot of mousesports players in connected. Next is close to the get-right spot as well. A lot of players here, a great little flank from Dennis. Now they can make this one happen. Schneider is out of the picture right now. He's sitting way back up towards Popdog. He's not going to go for it here, unfortunately enough for the rest of Dignitas, and they're going to let a third consecutive round go over towards mousesports. They're finding some momentum. They're finding some form here on the T side. That's another one for them.
Okay, that's going to be 5-3. Dignitas are going to try and change something up now. I feel like MSL has been kind of regularly meeting these opponents late into the round, like quite literally the 20-30 second mark. Mouse, they get a feel for A, they get a feel for the numbers. Sometimes they're finding an early head, and after that they do end up kind of residing over on B. The most of the plants, in fact all of the plants so far from mousesports, bar one, have been over on towards the B site. The God B's kind of suicidal plant in the smoke, and now going to be seeing a very scary buy for Dignitas. It is quite literally just the save and a couple of P250s. They've made it work before, and AZ's trying to make an impact, going aggressive, pressurizing, and how is he not taking any hits? What is going on here?
Fortune favours the bold for the man. He's going to back away at least for the moment, but he's done some damage. He's pluckily moving up to take those shots here, and Pimp's the only man on A right now as well. Mouse are pressuring this one. Kyobi's watching from way back in. Ivy. Dignitas don't really have the resources to defend this one, especially not with these pistols here. And see, Nico will dispatch off Pimp, and that's Kyobi. Just getting the heck out of dodge, or maybe going for a wide flank. I kind of doubt it. I really think that mousesports should be able to hit towards this one pretty quickly, with just MSL watching. God B going for the plant. Nex is watching over his shoulder as well. And Kyobi now is well and truly out of the pitch here. I'd be surprised if he really went for too much. He'll find Nico, though, unaware if he does look towards his left, or maybe he'll grab himself an orb.
He's going to be very happy with that one, as he's just going to back away and hope Nico doesn't hunt him down too quickly, and that's a perfect shot as well, if he chooses to go for it.
Yes!
Oh, beautiful. Clips the corner to take down Nico, fortunately low on health. And now Gobby goes on a mission, on an AWP recovery mission. Chris Shea does it for him. That's an important frag. And now mousesports are closing that gap on Dignitas. They failed the first buy, but ever since then, they have proven their worth, as that's going to be now 4 in a row, slapping the 5 of Dignitas back to a level playing field.
This is a good comeback from mousesports here, of course, bringing it back with 4 in a row. This might be closer than their last meeting on this particular map here. These two teams have constantly sort of pushed each other almost to the limit in a lot of their games here. Mousesports demonstrated that they are like an opponent that deserves respect from Dignitas, and now with 1 round in it, mousesports on a roll that, of course, was an eco for Dignitas, and Schneider has picked up an orb.
Okay, Dignitas trying the double orb. We know it most definitely worked for Envy. We saw the power of it just yesterday on their train game. Now we're going to be seeing Dennis take down Pimp. That's 1 already deleted. That's huge there from the German sniper. Now looking for a second as well. Did catch a glimpse of someone towards connector. It was Schneider, but he's cowering a little more passive now after that one. And here comes Mouse, another hit on towards B. Let's see how much success they can find this time.
Moving with 5 players here in MSL again, caught out by that one smoke. Not much he can do. Molotov towards his feet. This is going to force him forward, albeit slowly. AZ gets Nico, but Chris responds towards AZ. And here's MSL trying to disrupt the bomb plant, but he couldn't. Next, was watching the right spot there, and with only Schneider and Kirby to work with here, it might be a struggle, especially with Schneider now holding on his own, just with an AWP. And a lot of players to kill.
All right then, Schneider darting away to try and keep his AWP safe, see if he can do one better than what his compadre Kiabi. Got a little Australian there. As going to be seeing him get pushed out, trying to keep it safe, and actually does take Chris J's away from him, so that's the start. See if he can finish as well. As this battle for survival from Schneider is going to be hunted down from 2 different angles. It's Schneider who finds another one. He's going to dart away and hold the angle. And that's gone slightly in his favor then, as Godby's desperately trying to keep hold of his rifle and no scope into the air in order to acquire that one. So 5-5 then, as he does manage to cut mousesports down a little bit to size, but their money is most definitely not going to be challenged anytime soon, as we do find ourselves at 5-5. That is quite literally 5 back-to-back rounds for both teams.
Yeah, that's right. And mousesports actually doing really well to get the bomb planted and defend it. In fact, the first 2 out of 4 rounds were actually wins for Dignitas by way of defusing here. So seems like mousesports are managing to get themselves some more longevity as the round goes, and they're holding these sites once they get the plants down. Schneider going for a pretty cheeky angle there. Nico drops early. And AZ up at E-box as well. This is aggressive stuff from Dignitas in terms of their positioning. They might just back up on it a little bit here, as typically Ivy being left pretty much on its own, except being pushed now by mousesports. It's Jimmy Kirby.
Yeah, this is important. This is actually the first time we've seen Mouse really challenge him over on towards Ivy. 3 of them on the way, and he's actually going to throw a flash a little prematurely. That's not great. He's going to get peeked while throwing it, while in releasing it. And what just happened next? Comes alive with 2 very quick frags. That's 3 for him in this round now, and looks to be hunting for the 4th as well. Chris J is going to be able to catch one you would expect. Oh, Pimp's brain is no more, as Nex clutches a 4th as well. That was MSL that bit the dust. mousesports finds 6, and Nex almost single-handedly securing the round for his team.
Beautiful work from mousesports there. Incredible stuff. This is a great comeback for them to post 6 rounds on the board now, and this is going to force Dignitas to show us what they've got on this T side now if we do go too much further. Still able to buy, albeit 4th for Masters. It's got, obviously, Schneider still has armor. Pimp has opted not to go for the AWP here at all.
Something I haven't seen from Dignitas, and I wouldn't be upset if I did, would be like 2-3 players going aggressive on B, and if they don't necessarily find anyone, that gives them not only information, but enables them to come behind their opponent. Something that, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if mousesports are anticipating. I mean, they've got Nico and Chris J currently expecting an aggressive push on B, and there's nothing there from Dignitas.
Got B now, just in T2 with Nex. Trying to create some opportunities, but Kirby again, pluckily on top of that. Train there, Schneider is going to be able to take Godby, who was drawn out of position by Kirby. Purely his presence there, he's going to be able to duck back towards Ivy now, but here's MSL defending big. Chris J goes for a poke. He goes for a second peek with the AWP, and he will be shut down by MSL. Nico now. Let's maybe go and recover that one here. I don't really know what he can really make of this one, as it's only 2 mouse players left. Dignitas might have just woken up here, but Nex is going to inflict further damage to their roster, but he'll only be the last man standing. The bomb is loose. A lot of work to do.
Yeah, and it looks like he wasn't up to the challenge as well, as Pimp does find that. 6-6 is going to be a necessary round for Dignitas, as finally they find an answer. It took them 6 rounds back-to-back from Mouse before they finally do find an answer. And the answer seemed to be in the hands of just raw fragging. We saw AZ and MSL kind of pick up those ones, 12, 11 respectively on the top of the scoreboard. Big stuff from them.
Last time it was 8-7 at halftime in favour of Dignitas. However, they had the T side there. So things are a bit different here, but still these 2 teams are very closely matched. And look at this push out of Ivy. We haven't really seen this yet with Schneider actually positioning himself. He wants to boost over the box.
That's a nice boost, almost kind of representing what the T side usually adopt, and they're both slowly creeping and crawling. It's going to be Dennis with the AWP who's going to be the first to challenge out, and that's beautiful. Schneider takes 2 very, very quick frags. Mouse now cut down to size. Dignitas operating at a loss, though. Where is their 5th man?
Seems to have disconnected here, so they've done well with only having 4 at the moment. We'll probably see a pause after this one, but MSL looking for Chris J. They might not need 5 minutes. MSL will take care of the AWP of mousesports, and now it's Nico and Godby to do a lot of work. Nico wants to make a push. The nade did hurt him. He grabs the AWP. MSL now relocating as the smoke comes down towards B. Nico took down Pimp. He was waiting to defend that side as well. MSL got to get aggressive towards Godby. That makes the bomb loose, and Nico now is severely strapped of options. He's already committed to being on the floor here now. He's just going to try and frag it out. And Dignitas with 4. claim that round.
MSL and Schneider is all they needed in that round. AZ, he didn't even need to be here. Maybe that's the secret. Maybe that's what we need to do, is just have AZ regularly leave the server, because a fantastic and a tidy round coming out from Dignitas. And that's actually almost going to gift them another off the back of that, considering where mousesports currently reside in terms of money. And so 7-6 could very well be 8-6 as they're approaching the end of our first half here.
Yeah, mousesports definitely hoping to finish the half strong on that last round. So for now, they're just down towards their pistols. There's only Chris J with a Tech 9. And they're splitting a little bit here. Dennis is still going to go for Ivy. They will probably group up and do the B push, but they were sort of trying to work in those first few rounds of the game. But AZ's already got himself well and truly underneath them in Pop Dog here. He's heard them go past. MSL ready for the push as well. That's where AZ, there's MSL. He's opening things up. Nico goes down. He's going to try and get the spray down here. Godby drops as well, but Chris J finds his head.
Yeah, and AZ is on the way back, but I'm not too sure how much more he can do. It's going to be a question of Pimp now, just pistol v pistol, and Chris J is probably going to be going down. He does, and Dennis is left kind of wondering where it all went wrong. Bomb loose on B. He's managed to kind of creep and crawl behind, but Kirby is expecting it. 8 then for Dignitas is going to be coming into the final round to see if they can create any more of a gap between them and mousesports before it's their turn to turn on their T.
I'm looking forward to Dignitas' T side here. They're waking up though a little bit on the CT. That was obviously a round just now they got garnered by their excellent play in those gun rounds here. So let's see mousesports now buying up. No warp though for them at all. You can see some grenades are coming out here. 4 flashes for the whole team. They've all got some armor at least, and that's something to work with. Will they mix things up here on their last T-side round?
That is a very good question. We are going to be seeing Mouse actually stack up. That's 3 players in connector, not something we've seen too much of from them. And another nade coming in from Dignitas. This time it does connect down. It's got to be down to 70. 4 players, this 4-man stack from Dignitas is going to get cut down to size. 2 quick frags between Chris J and Godby, but Dignitas do exactly the same right back, and this is going to be a quick one.
Oh, Pimp there. Great work from him. He'll actually go down eventually, but Nico having the pressure on towards him. 2v2. Kirby now just pushing straight down towards that tunnel. Nico none the wiser. He's picked up the bomb, but he might pick up some bullets for his trouble. He only went down to 60%, so Kirby, he got some help from MSL, and Dennis is the last man standing. He's got to try and make an opening here. Turn this 2v1 into 2 1v1s, and a good spray towards MSL will start him off quite nicely. He's down to about half health. Kirby has a Molotov as well. We got to use that one. Nope, just get it done the old-fashioned way. And Dignitas make it 9-6 at the half.
Kirby, that could very well pay dividends later on down the line now. 9-6 then. You said it was 8-7 last time these two teams met. So Dignitas keeping it a little bit close, but not close enough. 9-6.
Just as we saw against Fnatic, a good pistol round will guarantee you that 12-6 and definitely put you in good stead to round out the remaining rounds.
And let's not forget, you know, half of the rounds that mousesports acquired were off the back of that pistol. You know, those first 3 that they managed to build off, all because of a successful pistol round. And I'm going to be very interested to see if Dignitas can do it. Kind of almost, yeah, throw it back in the opponent's face as opposed to what happened to them over on Mirage.
Absolutely now. They're well poised to do that. Last 2 rounds have definitely started to see them develop some momentum there as well. Schneider with an incredibly aggressive push actually on top of the train cart with the AK. Don't really know what he was going for there. It didn't work out, but you can see the intent in Dignitas' play here. They want to try and shake mousesports off their foundations, and now they're on the T side. This is a great way to do it. Pistol round will be very telling.
Yeah, this is potentially, and it's of course very much just smoke and mirrors until we do see who picks this one up. But we could be seeing Dignitas create quite a large gap between themselves and the German side, or majority German side at this point. Now let's see where the T-side chooses to take that bomb. We already see Chris J just casting his eyes towards Connector. Lots of early eyes spread out on towards the A site. Nico is the one looking towards Ivy, as we are going to see a couple of early bullets exchanged towards that B long. Instead, Dennis just backs away, keeping himself safe and sound. And Godby, I think that's a heavy investment of the incendiary. That's, of course, perfect if it has to deal with a fast B, but that's not what Dignitas plan.
No, not at all here. And they're actually just taking the time here in Connect. You can see these 3 players. What they're waiting for, though, remains to be seen. MSL harassing still over towards that B side. He's still trying to create some sort of opportunity. And Godby, well, he's going to be able to deal with the push right now. I think he's gotten rid of that incendiary. He has used it, and that has kept MSL at bay. But he's now going to push out with that Tech 9. See what kind of damage he can inflict on towards his side.
Oh, that's great. That's beautiful. Look at this. 4 players have rotated. All the CTs are now bundling into B because of MSL, who currently should be looking for jobs on Hollywood because he's sold it beautifully. An actor, no less than a CS player, and now it's going to be a 3 versus 3. Nex is the one to do damage for Mouse. It looks like they haven't finished just yet. Kirby's going low courtesy of Nex, but not enough. And now it's a 2v2. Dennis is struggling to connect his shots, and it's cost him dearly, but Pimp turns up with 2. Very important for Dignitas to acquire that one, and that's going to put 10 on the board. And now this is where the gap can get created. This is where things can run away from Mouse if they're not too careful.
Absolutely. They solved that, as you said, Dignitas very well. mousesports still managed to get through connector and pick up the Dignitas player who was waiting for them. But it was once they got on towards the A side that things fell apart. Here we go now. 3 AKs being invested into by Dignitas. AZ going for the MAC-10. Definitely going to be bringing some firepower into this one. And Dennis, of course, has gone for the scout.
Okay, quick smokes. That usually suggests you're going to be seeing an early offensive one towards the side. That's exactly what Dignitas are doing, just flooding in. They want to apply early pressure to Mouse, but Kierby may very well be stopped in his tracks if he's not too careful. It's Nico with his Deagle. Not going to be happening this time. AZ gets quick 2 with his MAC-10. That's 1200 in the pocket and a bomb down. So all things good in the hood for Dignitas now. And as they shred through this armored CT side, that's only putting them in even better stead for the following round.
The A stack definitely working out quite nicely here. And I don't know if really Dennis was able to be a factor in this round. He was watching B, so was GotB. And GotB wanted to go for that connector, but Smoke was there immediately from Dignitas to just lock him out of the sight. And now they just sit back on this one as well. Dennis wants to hold that scout.
That's the power of the T side on train is, you know, once the early flashes and smokes are thrown out, you can just get onto that site nice and quickly, especially against an under-armored and under-geared opponent. And we saw how quickly that round kind of took a turn for the worse for Mouse. But actually, MSL and AZ, they're not too far on this hunt. I don't think they're going to quite find them in the nick of time, but so damn close to taking even further armor and weapons away. Even does, at the last second, catch GotB with his MAC-10. So even more money for him and even less for the boys in Mouse.
So yeah, still, Dennis does have that scout. I'll be interested to see what he does with it now. And Dignitas again, they're not really changing their arsenal at all. It's a very clean round for them. Absolutely. So will they go for the hard A push yet again? It seemed to work out for them absolutely brilliantly last time. And honestly, Mouse are in very much the same circumstances as they were before. But no, it's a push towards Ivy from long. Chris J will be out to meet him. I don't think he has any boost potential here, so he's just going to sit behind this one and wait. But look at Dignitas.
Yeah, 3 players stacked up as well as having the bomb
there.
You're
kidding
Nico,
me. The Zeus.
Does whistle out a shot. You can see Chris J holding that Zeus, and I think they almost heard it being equipped. They're just going to be bagging away, not interested in being electrocuted by Chris J just yet. And in the meantime, during this Ivy play, Schneider has put himself in pop dog. Smoked out, but there is a slight gap that would enable him to spot someone. I like that smoke from him, just giving himself a little bit of a peek. Kirby's going to join him.
Mouse have read this fairly well, actually. Everyone towards A. That's where the players are right now, as MSL will just start to move forward up through those trains here. Nico sitting back with the USP. Kirby opens up the account for Dignitas in this round, and Schneider will add to that. Nico, great little headshot towards AZ, but he's got so many people pushing towards him and no armor to protect him. But there's Next trying to get involved, but just Chris J, the man with the Zeus. Can he put it to good use in this round? Dignitas look to be going up 12-6 here.
Be intrigued to see if Pimp was to walk into his electric domain. He's considering it, but Pimp did just catch a little glimpse. And my mind was racing to try and find, what was the place where all the Greek gods resided? Do you remember? Like, it's got a name. Olympus? Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
Okay, there Olympus. We go. Yeah, okay. Because if it's like Zeus from Na'Vi had a Zeus, there'd definitely be some sort of Olympus joke there, but I'm going to go ahead and wait.
I was actually hoping for the electric boogaloo joke. Yeah, I got the connection there, but not to be. And unfortunately, that little investment there from mousesports not going to pay off. However, they can now buy themselves up some guns as well. A couple of silence 10-4s in the mix there for them. Plenty of smokes as well. We'll try and keep Dignitas at bay here.
Yep, certainly a whole lot more M4A4 than we would have seen pre-patch. Still, a fair few, sticking with that A1 on both sides of things. And oh, hang on a second, Dignitas, what on earth is this? GotB is about to be tested, and he's not going to pass with flying colours. Just the one before Dignitas now swarm on in. MSL is going to be the man responsible for the plan, but Dennis could be responsible for something quite special here. He's creeping towards Kierby's location, finds the frag in the meantime. Nico did the same, and Mouse have just completely overrun Dignitas here on the B side.
Nico shut them down so hard over on that B side as they after they got that bomb down. Schneider looks to try and make amends in some way for this one, but he'll have to back away and hold on to his AK there. mousesports can stabilize now after losing that pistol. Well, I mean, they start a lot better start than the last half, where, of course, a few gun rounds passed them by without any score.
Yeah, you're right. It was the first 5 that they previously acquired. This time it's just going to be the 3, but that is the power of the pistol, as we are going to be seeing those initial 3 thrown on. Puts Dignitas in good stead to acquire just 4 more now on that T side and pick up the victory. But mousesports, they have the beauty of the CT side in one way or in one respect, where it does enable them to just just keep it chill, hold angles and wait for the Dignitas boys to present something to them on between these two sites, between this battleground here on train.
This is interesting.
I like what Pimp's doing here.
Mouse aren't watching Ivy at all. They have no one there. They've actually pushed up so aggressively on that A side that they don't really have any contingencies for this area. And Chris J, well, he may have to turn around and check that one in a moment. But Mouse is trying to take ground away from Dignitas and force them into funneling into a negative situation, but I don't think they're going to provide them that.
Not anytime soon, that's for certain. I feel like Mouse is actually getting kind of anxious over towards B. If you see Molotovs thrown out and everything, and that's all just because of course, you know, our actor, our resident actor, the Danish man at MSL. His presence alone, a couple of smokes and nades is all it needs to keep the B defenders at bay. But now, time gonna start becoming a factor here. Schneider's the one to try and extend through Ivy. Chris J, the one to defend it. In fact, no, he's backed away as well. You're right, they have completely disregarded a push from Dignitas through Ivy.
Chris J now actually just wants to set himself more on that A side. He's done a bit of a lap through the tunnels there, and here's Schneider. Still unsure whether he should push this one, because Chris J has actually come around. Maybe that was a sound bait or something similar. Don't really know, but now bomb being picked up by Pimp. Maybe be the option? No, he'll head down Pop Dog and maybe try and open up an opportunity, but Next is there to meet him, and that takes the wind out of Dignitas' sails a little bit. But MSL picks up towards Dennis, and there's Kirby getting involved now. A might be the target right now for Dignitas as AZ takes down Nico, and all of a sudden Mouse just crumbling to pieces. It's just Chris J, and he has to back away and head to the tunnels.
Dignitas completely just in the head of Mouse. They had no idea where that bomb was going. Chris J was rotating to B, then back away. He had no idea where that bomb was going until the last second. Next, of course, getting a vital frag there. He could have got one better. That could have been a completely different round. But by not being able to seal the Pop Dog presence's fate, we did see that one go Dignitas' way. Now, another step closer to that magic number. And mousesports are going to be rocking the eco.
Well, mousesports were just starting to show some sign of a resurgence here, but they have been, well, quashed back down now, even after 7 rounds. Dignitas with 3 to go here, and look again, pressuring towards Ivy. They have confidence in it this time, but Chris J and Nico are going to push this one as well. This could get ugly now, as he's pushing all the way up here with the pistols, but they're silent. He's going to take him down. Pimp is going to be destroyed, and there it is. Ivy taking control over, and that is an important milestone in this round for Dignitas, and A is open for the taking.
And a lot of respect given to Mouse, though, considering how they didn't immediately push out after those initial 2 frags. They slowed it down and just cautious of a potential 5-man stack to Ivy, but Dignitas are now closing in on the remaining 2, and they're not going to be too long for this. Well, just got B clutching onto his 5-7, but he's not getting up to any monkey business. And that's going to be then 2 now for Dignitas away from the Magic 16.
Dignitas choosing a good time to actually commit to something on that Ivy side of the map and work onto A. But now mousesports, for the most part, can buy. From us there, of course, you see for Nico, it's not exactly pretty. Waiting to see buys. Chris J will go Glass Cannon as well with that orb.
Okay, Glass Cannon. That shows that Chris J is starting to run out of ideas here. He's desperately trying to find an entry onto the site. We saw him be playing a whole lot around Ivy on the defensive side, and now he has found an answer. AZ now down. Schneider quickly burns Chris J in response, though. A solid Molotov, and he's pushing through that, though. He's trying to use it as some sort of cover, but no. Nico takes him out of the equation, and now looks like Pimp could be joining him any second now.
Schneider's fluffed his lines, but there, Nico's going to be able to make up for it. He pushes towards MSL. That drops the bomb. Kirby on towards Nico, and Pimp is staying alive with 4 points of health. He's the only man left for Dignitas now. It all rests on him. He has his orb, and all he needs is 2 good shots. That's 1. He's halfway there as God B does fall. And Dennis now trying to sit back. He will at least allow his team to breathe that sigh of relief without letting Dignitas go to that match point, but my God, it was close.
So close, and Pimp seems to be a bit of a master of the P250 in this game, or in previous games as well. Never doubt the man when he's down. It does feel like he's sometimes getting into positions where you wouldn't want an AWP. Like, he's quite literally sometimes forgetting what role he has been told to fulfill, and that's going to happen as the growing pains of changing positions. And look at the buy from mousesports. They are desperate to continue to mount up some sort of victory here. You got the auto shotty for Chris J, an MP7, a UMP no less, and look at Nico's health already.
Schneider again getting pretty greedy, well, a little bit aggressive now towards this part, but AZ is there. Nico thought he could jump on towards Schneider, but he can't. And this higgledy-piggledy buy for Mouse is not going to quite work out as AZ takes down Chris S. Dennis with the orb. He has some armor at the very least, and there is God B as well with the UMP. But what can be done here for mousesports? It might be too little too late.
Absolutely, Dennis. And God B, who has been a real advocate for the UMP. If ever you want someone to sell you an SMG, it's definitely going to be his weapon of choice, and we are going to see Dennis just narrowly get away with the AWP for now, taking AZ out of the Dignitas pool. potentially find a second as well. Schneider now down. As this round starting to come together, the bomb isn't down, so you can't forget, you can't write mousesports out of this round yet, despite looking pretty null. Look at this, Godby gets another one with the SMG. What on earth is taking shape here as both of them, remaining players for Mouse, have found 2 each?
Pimp's got a lot of work to do here. He's shown us he can clutch, but now he's up against the AWPer in Dennis, and of course Godby has been doing damage to the rest of his teammates. And Pimp has to be careful about this one. Going to be is a great start here as well. We're going to go try and get that plant down as soon as possible. His vantage point here will be very interesting, and it will be very important as well. He does have Dennis on the rotate. Godby is staying at A, paying due diligence to that, but Pimp has allowed himself to get 2 1v1s now as a result.
Yeah, or maybe, assuming he does try and get the peak on Dennis early on. I think he's got a good idea of where Dennis is going to be coming from. Godby's going to be coming from a similar location as well, but he's closing in. He's trying to make this very close quarters, and it's just beautiful. Pimp shuts it down. Mouse getting so damn close into securing their 9th, but no. Pimp shakes his head, picks up a 1v2, and puts 15 on the board for Dig.
I mean, there was not enough information for Mouse to know really where Pimp was, so they can't pick 2 players into one and try and at least get some sort of trade out there. Pimp, beautiful stuff from the man there. And well, now match point is coming up for Team Dignitas. And this is all they need to do here, Alex. One more round. Mousesports falling, unfortunately, a long way short of what they would have liked to achieve in this game. This will be the biggest winning margin for Dignitas in their last 5 matches.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, it was like, what, 16-14, 16-14, then in like 19-16 overtime. These guys are no stranger to a close battle. And this one has started to make a little bit of a better outlook for Dignitas. And now they look to approach Ivy. Just Deagles and armor to their name. But that's not going to stop Mouse giving it their best shot. Chris J does most definitely give us that. That's 2. That's surely not a 3rd. Dennis does it for him. As now Mousesports, what is this? This is the Deagle party. Nico's the one to put the candle on the cake, and that's 9.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful stuff there as well. You can see Mouse getting themselves some decent guns up there as well. Godby with an AWP in his hands, and Mousesports still showing some signs of life on the very precipice of losing this match now. Dignitas shaking their heads thinking, come on, man, we can't believe we fell to that one. But Chris J again showing a bit of flair there, and the damage was already done by the time he went down as well. And even, I think it was next getting his own Deagle shot in there. Lovely little set piece from Mousesports here. Still 6 rounds down. Let's see what they can do. Now, Dignitas keeping together for the most part here over on this side of the map.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one that Dignitas are not going to remember in a hurry. I'll delete that one from their memory. As Dennis does take down MSL. And looking for a second as well, he knows there's a whole flood of terrorists coming towards his location, trying to find a bit of a safe haven. The smoke probably won't provide that, as they're just going to walk straight through. He's desperately cowering in the smoke, and he's not going to be able to take too much with him, just the one with his pistol. And Dignitas again looking to be falling a little flat. Pimp did manage to steal the AWP away from Dennis and trying to do some work with that one. Not going to happen. Godby shoots his toes off. And now just Gierby, Tech9, and now soon to be an AWP, as he is going to get away with his life. But for how long? So there are 2 players trained in this location. He's desperately trying to connect through the wall, but with 50 seconds left, 2 players on B, 1 on A, his options are limited.
Yeah, you can see they definitely value messing with Mouse's economy more than saving that AWP at this stage, as Gierby looking for something there at upper. Almost saw the head there as well. Oh, there it is. Nico does go down. I don't know if really Kirby's going to go for too much more. I don't really know if he's going to be greedy that way. Next is going to go looking for him, though, now. Kirby may have his back turned in this scenario. He had his knife out as well. Not going to help. His Next will secure that one for Mousesports. 2 in a row for them now. They're inching yet closer, but still, that match point will be looming over their head every round of this game.
And so, Mousesports keeping Dignitas on their toes. This could very well start to spiral a little out of control for Dignitas, but they just need one. And it's always this scenario that can sometimes kind of be the monkey on the back of some teams, where they do sit there and they go, we just need one, guys. How hard is this? One round, we've already got 15, and there's this horrible kind of problem you can cause by being too successful, you know, sitting on 15 causes some problems for some teams. Now, Dignitas are trying to pick up the pace, and it's going to be working so far. Easy already draws blood.
Dignitas just rushing straight towards Mouse right now. They want to close the gap and they want to get the kills, but their MSL is going to be denied by Nico, who shuts him down, but the bomb is planted. That's the important part now. Is Kirby just going to sidle around through the smoke. A flash out from him as well as he sits on that bomb side. He'd love to get better position on Mousesports, but Nico will be there to meet him, and only 2 players left for Dignitas now. Schneider drops, and Pimp will get next, and they will get Godby as well. 2v1 1v1 situation. He's done it before. He can do it again. The bomb is down. Pip with an order who gets his third. It's a 1v1 now. 7 points of health left. And we see Chris J has to go for the defuse, but he gets the kill. And he can defuse that bomb. Had a key on him, luckily. But Pimp putting up some stiff resistance.
Yeah, Pimp has been a master so far in just dealing with these high-pressure scenarios. A beautiful attempted comeback from him, though. 25 frags so far in this game, and that's an achievement in itself. And now we have to sit and wait. So close as well to finding that final frag. He was in a prime position to just stop that defuse. Fortunately, enough damage was done by Nico to aid his kill. Now, let's see where they go into this one. We are going to be seeing Dignitas buy in again. Very limited nades, very limited rifles as well. 2 Galils and a couple of smokes for them to work with. And it's a far cry from ideal. But then again, AZ goes doing that. That's crazy. He gets an early frag onto God B, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis does slap him and his team back into submission as MSL does go down. We're back to a 4v4.
Orb kill for the Flying Dutchman. Just going to settle things a little bit here for mousesports as Kirby and Schneider again. Going to try their luck at Ivy, and Chris Shea a little bit late to the party if he was planning to defend that one here. Pimp also towards Connector, might be heading in that way. Chris Shea forced away a lot of bullet holes in those walls. He knows he's under pressure right now, but the 4v4 it is. Next, waiting for something towards Pop Dog. Pimp is up in lockers as Chris J does take down Kirby. That's one of those forces hooking around him. But Schneider will actually try and push through that smoke. He wants to find that kill. He'll at least gain himself some position, but he has been spotted. Gets tagged down towards 40 and has to be very, very careful right now. Dignitas need all the players that they can keep.
They are setting themselves up for a B, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dennis is going to make that call very, very soon. As soon as he catches it, just a whiff of the Danes, and he does do more than that. Finds Pimp, and now just onto AZ to do it all. Nico was responsible for Schneider's death. And AZ on the top of that container is going to be very vulnerable, and Nico is the one to end it. And now mousesports starting to make it interesting, folks. Dignitas was so close to 16 for so long, but now 4 back-to-back rounds from the German side are starting to keep this game more and more interesting. This one is a nail-biter, and look at Dignitas' buy.
They have to eco here. There's no choice, really. They really can't let this get any further out of hand. They got pretty much no money, so they're going to try and hold on to a little bit here and work with these Tech 9s. There's only armor for Kirby right now as well. A couple flashes for AZ, but they're not working with a great deal here. Now, it looks like, again, they're trying for Ivy. MSL here as well. We'll probably want to flood out if he can, but this is Schneider with the Deagle, and Kirby want to work this hard.
I like what Dignitas are trying here, as they're going to be desperately trying to work and maneuver their way in towards the train yard. There's just so little they can do with these pistols, you would hope. Easy for Mouse. It's going to be Nex and Nico who do all the work for them. It's going to continue to do so. Just the two of us, they sing, as it's going to be 3 for Nico, 2 for Nex, and that's going to put 13 then on the board for Mouse. Dignitas, this is one of the last chances they're going to get now before it goes into overtime. mousesports have done such a fantastic job of closing this gap. We said every single time these two teams meet, it gets close. We thought this was going to be an exception. It doesn't seem the case.
Yeah, I think Dignitas lose this. Obviously, they'll see if they can force something in the next one here, but mousesports getting very close now, just nibbling at the heels of Dignitas, and they realise we're starting to sweat a little bit here, I'm sure of it. Dennis still with the AWP, persisting. Chris J opted to not really sort of touch that one for the last few rounds here, and it's worked out so far, there's no doubt about it. The majority of Dignitas here set up again on long. Look at MSL, look at AZ, there's the frags coming in, AZ getting 2, and that opens things up so beautifully towards the B side. This is going to force a rotation from Mouse, but the rest of Dignitas can still go A.
This is nice, and of course, without the lack of bomb, the B players are just going to try and sell it as best they can. It's going to be MSL who's just desperately trying to, once again, make them think it's a B, and it's going to work beautifully, as now Nico and Nex are locked out on towards B. This is a very nice turn of events, all off the back of AZ's frags. Nico not going to let this one slip away too easy, though, as he does take down Schneider. Now just Nico and Nex. They've completed the round, just the two of them last time. Let's see if they can do it again.
Big effort thus far from AZ. 3 frags for the man just to try and seal things down. Nico wants to go for something, but people shut him down. It's just Nex. He's got to make this one happen. He jumps up on the bomb side. He sees AZ from lower Pop Dog. He knows there's other players in the vicinity. He has to smoke, and he has to go for this one here. People's going to poke around the corner. Will he get the better of him? He will, and Dignitas have done it. They close it out after a little bit of a close shave there. 16-13.
Good God, these guys like to bring it close. Dignitas and Mouse, it's going to become a bit of a regular sign between these two guys. Is as soon as they're about to play, okay, so we're expecting to see a close to 30 rounds every single game. And now, you said the statistic before, it was the last 5 times they've met, Dignitas have won 4. Again, Mouse falling foul to the Danes.
Very close for them each time. It must be quite frustrating, I'm sure, for mousesports.
Sure.
However, it's an improvement on their last train performance against Dignitas for what it's worth here. And Dignitas, you know, turning a night that could have gone sour after such a great start against Fnatic into something a little bit better here, getting a win at the end against mousesports.
Yeah, so that's a good showing and a good evening of CS. I'm starting to catch my breath now after what has been definitely an action-packed one. A lot of Danish teams showing up in this one. We saw TSM, of course, in their first game on Cobble up against Titan. They brought it so damn close, but a couple of easily avoidable mistakes from Titan did cost them that win.
Yeah, disappointing to see that from them, of course, but the next game featured TSM versus mousesports on Dust 2, and again, mousesports, frustration for them, two games where they're getting these 13 rounds. They're getting close, you know, they're in the mix, you could say, with these teams, but Dust, they just sort of fell away right towards the end.
Yeah, and with the course of the third game, we saw Dignitas on Mirage, a fantastic showing on their first half, but then really struggling to get things going to ignite anything special on their defensive side, with Fnatic picking up that win. And of course, if you have just tuned in, where have you been? You've missed all of the action, as we did just see Train go the way of Dignitas right down to the wire, 16-13. If you have missed all of the action, you guys can catch up with it both on the Score Esports application over on your phone. You can find that over at the iOS or Google Play Store, or if you want to catch the VODs, you can go over to our YouTube channel as well, youtube.com/ESL for all of that. That about brings it to a close for us here. We have, of course, got more CS on the way on the NA side of things, so if you do have a messed up bedtime, like I'm sure both me and Mitch do, you will be able to catch those over at twitch.tv/ESEA. And if you are after some more European CS, they can go ahead and look forward to the Super Week coming up.
That's right. I mean, all through this weekend, on Saturday, of course, there will be games, as you can see here as well. So we're going to see a bit more of TSM playing as well. NIP, we're going to see some more games out of Penta as well. That'll be their second, third, and fourth matches of the Pro League so far. So definitely not one you want to miss, especially if you want to see exactly how that table now is really going to start to take shape.
Yeah, it's going to be a very telling Saturday, that's for sure. A big change-up potentially in those standings for the Pro League as that weekend will come to a close. We hope to see you guys there, but for now, it's time for us to say goodbye.